This is a demonstration to show the data scrubbing capabilities of Centralpoint. Right now we're looking at the data transfer utilities, which we assume that you're familiar with. If not, take a look at our data transfer video tutorials. But here we are bringing in content from another source into a module called generic G. We're going to map the various data from those sources. We're going to pull title, full name, and company into our new module. So we're going to go ahead and hit submit, which is going to start that transfer, pulling in those new records into generic G. So we're pulling in raw data. You could have thousands, perhaps millions of records coming into this new module. So let's go take a look at generic G. Here are the records we've just pulled in. Here we see California, Baldwin Park. So we have a couple addresses here. Here we have director. Here we have Hatchet, and you'll notice that these records have no taxonomy. So these records have no articulated metadata. So let's take a look at taxonomy just for a second. So here we have these records that came in with no taxonomy, and let's assume we had a taxonomy called, and let's just go ahead and call it something here. We're going to call it California, and we're going to assign that to we're going to put that under the module that we were just looking at, which is generic G. So taking a look here, we're going to say here's our California records, and they should carry a taxonomy here of California. So I'd like any record that contains the name or word California to include that new taxonomy. So let's go ahead and go to that taxonomy that we've just created. And I'd put it under this one umbrella called data. Here's our California. So here's California. Now, if you go up here to the top right, you'll see show hide properties. And by doing that, it will give you the global unique identifier, otherwise known as a GUID. This is the identifier for the taxonomy type called California. So let's go ahead and copy that into your notepad. We're then going to go up here to admin, and we're going to go to search all modules. So basically what we're doing here is we have a menu that allows us to filter by only certain modules that we want to look at. So I'm going to say let's search by generic G. So here we see all of our generic G records. I'm then going to search the keyword California, and I'm just going to hit enter. So we have 3 records which we want to apply the taxonomy to for California. So we're going to go ahead and select those 3 records. We're then going to go up here and say change attribute, and here we're going to say, so it's defined the 3 records that we searched for. So basically, based on your keyword searches, you can now kind of pull through your data, find out which ones you want to group, and then along the way what we're going to do is this. We're going to say let's take those records there, and we're going to go to taxonomy, and we're going to apply that new taxonomy. So we're going to go ahead and execute that. So, and it does say that this, you really should back up your records or you back up your database first before doing this. But 3 attributes, 3 records were changed. Okay, so there they are right there. Now, just to go ahead and test what happened there, here's our California records. Let's go ahead and open one up. And you'll see they now carry the taxonomy for California. So this is really neat. This means that once you collect all of the structured metadata or taxonomy and the IDs for those, you can then conduct searches through all of this raw content you've pulled in, apply the taxonomy appropriately, and then resubmit it. So now all of these records will be categorized by that taxonomy. Let's just go ahead and go to the front end of that site. Here we have a number of records which have no taxonomy. Here are the 3 found under California. So these are now searchable by California. As we bring up these records, they will be tagged to California. We can see all of the other results from California. And again, you're not just limited to one taxonomy. You could have an entire family tree of taxonomy that you're applying, and it allows you to take all of this data from these other systems, pull it into Centralpoint, run through your various search criteria, apply all the taxonomy you need to, and now we have these hooks, if you will, these metadata connections to the data. So it's a form of scrubbing and cleaning your data. Of course, those hooks can also summon other related records from other modules, so we can now start to connect the dots. So the problem is the records over the many years have never been properly classified. So when you do pull them into Centralpoint, you're still left with the challenge of how to you relate all of this together. And this is our solution to it. So just to kind of quickly recap, you will go and conduct your import. Once you've done your import, you will create the taxonomy or find the taxonomy that you have that you would like to apply. Go ahead and copy those into a notepad. You will then go to search all modules. Before taking another step, you'll filter first on just the module we're talking about in the top left corner by selecting the module. You will search your keyword for whatever it is, or conduct your search. And once you've done that search, again, I'll just step through the process here. Okay, you will select those records. You will go to the top right and you will select change attributes. And as you can see, you'll know that you've done the right thing because you'll be able to see the same record count. Here's 1, 2, 3. Those are the 3 records that bear the keyword California. Now, for an example, if I wanted to append to that further and say, okay, well, all things California now get tagged to Los Angeles, and they also get tagged to Western region, I can keep going with that and building upon that taxonomy to make the information better classified.